What's going on, everybody?
It's your boy
Stefan, a.k.a. Sneaky G. Man, now, of course, I got True Blue Pork Rind with me. Jamie will join us in a second. Oh, my God, guys. We got to jump right into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
This weekend. It was a... We were, if you are a NFL fan, you was treated to some entertainment this weekend, even if you weren't a fan of any of the 8 teams that were playing.
That's right.
This Elite 8 was something else. And I want to open it up to you two, and I'll probably ask this to Jamie later. What did you guys learn about this weekend? Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm going to say what I
hold on. It's the shock, the pure shock. It doesn't matter if you get the first round bye. It doesn't matter if you play in your own home field.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to take a step back because go ahead, guys.
I'm going to say the biggest takeaway I had from this was the biggest takeaway I have from this is the guys who wanted to win, the teams that wanted it the most. They showed you who they were. They showed you on the field. They showed you with the stats. It was pretty great all the way around, from defense to offense on both sides. You're right, home field advantage did not matter. Being on the road, having that, mentality of everyone's picking us to lose, they just turned around and proved us all wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
And crowd noise was another big effect that, regardless if you're in Green Bay or in Tampa, it just didn't matter.
Nah, it seemed like the visiting team definitely traveled pretty well for all the game. The biggest takeaway that I took out of this past weekend was, God, we need a quarterback.
Okay, that was there's some truth to that.
Yeah,
there's some truth to that. When you look at first off, let me back up. Trubilla, you said earlier in your statement you couldn't have been further for the truth. But if I want to play devil's advocate, you said who wanted it more. The Buffalo Chiefs game, clearly both of them wanted it more. And I want to jump on that real quick. Well, you know what? Let's save the best for last. Let's do that. Yep. So let's go ahead and let's see there's no wrong game to pick first. No. There is no wrong. So the first. Let's. What do you guys? Let's go with the Titans and the Bengals. Joe Burrow is for real.
Yep.
Joe Burrow is definitely for real.
I was watching the game, and I'm going to throw this out there. When I saw the fact that his offensive line, still has its issues. Okay,
gave up 9.
He gave up 9 sacks, but I felt as though he was using the sacks as an ally. If that sounds weird,
Yeah, because he was letting them in.
He wasn't turning the ball over. He was making smart choices, and that game was more so of a chess match than a football game. And of course, turnovers were key towards the end. And I don't know if you guys heard the talk about what the field goal kicker said before he went out there. He was like, "Well, I guess we're just going to go to the AFC championship game."
Not bad for a rookie kicker,
right? Right. So, and go. I mean, give me your 2 cents of. The Bengals and Tennessee. I mean, I had a feeling that Derrick Henry wasn't going to perform, and that they were going to make Tannehill, win the game for them, and that's what the defense did, and they stepped up. Of course, I don't have the numbers with me now, but and I'm just going off of eye test. But go ahead, guys.
I'm gonna say for that game, yeah, Tannehill, as Pork Ryan was talking about, the quarterback is what's needed, and in Tannehill, I think they're already losing their patience with him with the decisions that he was making with the ball. Yeah, he had a couple of great throws to Brown and such, but the key moments, that's when it mattered the most. He didn't come through.
Well, let's not forget that was a tip. That last interception was a tip.
Right.
Oh yeah, I think as every fan base gets, us included, we get weary of our quarterback after so many, especially him. He's had a couple of appearances in a row, and it's just not there for him. And I think, Tennessee Titans are going to be weary of that. The team as a whole, it's not going to blame one person, as they said, but I think that's the factor. I think that's the factor that they're needing.
Oh, it looks like we got some love out in Australia.
He's got the weapons for sure. AJ Brown, Julio Jones.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. It wasn't that great of a turnaround for him in Miami. Yeah, he is kind of like an Alex Smith, where he's a check down quarterback. He can control the ball, but at those big decisions and big games, he's just not going to cut the mustard.
Well, I mean, that touchdown pass he threw at the end
was amazing.
I thought that was a good throw.
Yeah.
It was.
And correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a manager, as a quarterback on the field. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But do you think being a manager is something that could get you further in the playoffs? I can't. Well, I mean, but then, okay, look, and I say that, but look at Garofalo. I mean, he is definitely a manager on the field, and
Alex
he's in
Smith
the NFC Championship. And yep, Alex Smith, and he took them to the NFC Championship game. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, even though the ball got to bounce your way, it's the playoffs. But how effective, no pun intended, True Blue, how effective do you believe a manager like a Tannehill could be in these NFL playoffs?
I just don't see him cutting it. I think seeing what I saw this past Saturday with him playing, again, it was game management. It was, what he's going to try and do to get to the TD and to the field goal area, to the red zone, and make sure that they get something out of it. But at the same time, he didn't trust himself for those big plays, and you can see it on the field.
Yeah.
And again, that throw was amazing right there in the corner to Brown. When it's all said and done, it came down to the defense stopping the offense, and they got that field goal. And that was just one of 3 games that ended that way.
Yeah. 3 games ended with 9 points.
Yeah.
Total. 9
points. Go ahead. I'm sorry, guys.
Go for it, Report Grant.
3 games coming down to 3 points. Now the Tampa Bay and the Rams game, that was a little bit the Rams had the lead, and it just, I mean, it's Tom Brady,
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And I think if you would add a little bit more time, it could have pulled it off, but defense definitely did not step up on that last drive. How do you let Cooper Kupp go wide open?
Yeah,
like
how do you let him get behind
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Apparently, it was a blitz.
And this is something that I said last week, and I said it to a couple of friends from these teams. If you're going to allow your coach to take the eye off the prize to go interview, you're going to have problems. And 2 coaches took their eye off the prize and took interviews for Tampa. And I think, again, that you let somebody get behind you with seconds to go who's actually the best receiver this year, that's coaching right there. You didn't step up your game to tell your players, don't let this guy get behind you.
And there's something about preparation. I mean, it's not that you never heard of Cooper Kupp.
Exactly.
He had the Triple Crown this year. He led in wide receivers, in touchdowns, receptions, and yardage. So he's going to get the ball.
Exactly.
When I looked at it and I broke down the play, it was a blitz. I think that the one of the free safety was supposed to commit on that blitz, or was it the middle linebacker? I think it was the linebacker that was supposed to commit on the blitz.
I want to say it was a safety blitz.
It was the safety. Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He just stood there, and he let Cooper Kupp just pass him by.
Yep.
And then with the safety that did commit to him, Cooper had the inside gap on him. And I mean, he's wide open.
Just ran right by him.
That's football 101.
Yeah, he had like 5 yards on him.
Easy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't double him. I don't know why. It's just one of those. I know for a fact the next morning, Aries was like, "What the f?"
Yeah. And again, people say, "Well, these are grown men. They can, do 2 things at once. They can chew and walk at the same time." But you got to look at it from a standpoint. You're going to interview for another job. Where's your heart really at right now? And I just got to keep saying that because I see it.
Yep.
I've already told myself, if I ever had somebody saying, "Hey, I'm going to check out. I'm going to go, I'm going to work here in the morning, but I got to go in the afternoon to go interview with another company," I'm going to tell that person, "Hey, you know what? I guess I don't need you anymore. Go ahead and check out."
Well, it's funny you say that because Leftwich is thinking
looks like
he's going to Jacksonville.
Exactly right.
And I don't know about the defensive coordinator, Bowles.
He also had an interview.
I know, and we're going to get to the interviews here in a second. And you're right; it's so quick. It's so funny to me how quickly the tide turns. Because you got a lot of people in Buffalo now that they're going to they're interviewing in the Giants. I was asking one of my friends last night on my show. I'm like, well, what's Buffalo going to do? They're going to end up promoting from within. Before we get into the whole interview process, I mean, we still got a couple games to talk about. The Green Bay San Francisco 49er game. Look, I'm going to be honest. I went 2 for 2 this week. I picked Green Bay. I thought, and I picked Green Bay in relations to the quarterback. I mean, you cannot sit here and tell me Garoppolo. You know me in names, right? Yeah, I say tomato, you say tomato. You can't sit here and tell me that Garoppolo is better than Aaron Rodgers. You can't sit here and tell me that the Green Bay Packers defense is better than the 49ers. But from the game last week, you can definitely tell me that their special teams is better. San Francisco special teams is better than Green Bay.
When there's 10 people on the end of the play to line up for you on special teams.
When I saw that, look now
checking out.
And earlier, I know I talked about the Bengals and the Titans being a chess match. I'm gonna have to eat my words because clearly this was a chess match as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you had the weather, you had you had the two teams on there. It was 10-3 for like 27 hours up until the block punt
The
and then
block
the
punt, and
return
that
for the
game changer right there.
end zone. I mean, it changed the game completely.
Yep.
And that's not to mention the the missed opportunities
Yeah.
that Green Bay had to change the game, or the texture, if you will, of the game, to give the 49ers a chance to win. I mean,
Yeah, I it was funny because I was keeping up with the kiddo this weekend during that one, and I of course saw the score, but what was preoccupying me, I was like, you know what, let me go to Twitter to see what's going on behind, since I missed most of it. And in the Twitter world, it was Garoppolo's garbage, that they can't handle it, that nothing can be done. Aaron Rodgers is going to the Super Bowl, and here I am thinking, man, this score must have got out of hand.
Nope.
And then I flip it on and I see that it's 10 up, and I'm like, what was everybody talking about on Twitter?
Right.
And then to see the outcome. But then again, looking at the film, I don't know. I'm not going to say that, Aaron, Mr. Rodgers, was trying to stick it in the eye of the Green Bay Packers organization. But looking at that play, looking at the play from him all throughout the whole game, it was just like, what, some of the calls that he was doing, some of the plays that he was throwing and calling, it was just like, that's not the usual Rodgers we know.
After the first drive, it looked like a totally different quarterback.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm like, does he want to stick it in the eye of the organization as he walks away from this year and just says, I'm done? Or, does
kind of felt that way.
Yeah, it felt that way. It looked that way. Yep. I'm not going to speak for Mr. Rodgers, and but the thing is, just it felt that way.
Yep, that's a unique perspective of that, because I didn't see that, and that's just me. Maybe because I wasn't looking for it, and I'm not saying you guys were, but what I saw was a team that I hate to say this. I mean, since he won the Super Bowl, he has not been the same player. He's lost big games in the playoffs, to include the 2011 divisional playoff game against the New York Football Giants. He has lost NFC Championship games. He has lost NFC Championship games that's played at home.
Divisional games
Look. Aaron Rodgers is a gifted athlete. I'm gonna say that he's a gifted quarterback. He can knock a fly off a cow's butt, okay, with the football.
So could the kicker from Cincinnati.
well, and I'm just saying, there's this big, talk that Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest of all times. I can't say that about him. I will not say that about him, because I'm going to be honest. There's a great quarterback that played for the New York Football Giants that has, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And he's not nearly getting the credit that he deserves, but yet we put, and I use that as a general sense, we put Aaron Rodgers on this pedestal. Yeah, he has the numbers. Yeah, he has, but look, when you look at
the gunslingers always get that pedestal. Yep. I feel that those gunslingers get that, and you look at Brett Favre the same way.
Yep.
Right, but Brett, I don't, and I remember
the difference between Brett Favre is he was undefeated at home during the playoffs.
Yeah. And the funny thing, it's for circle back how I was bringing up the Giants. I mean, his last completion was to a New York Football Giant at the Green Bay Packers. Just want to throw that out there. But no, I mean, okay, and I'll end it with this. I think Aaron Rodgers is given his due respect. Okay.
Yeah.
But there are some quarterbacks, I believe, that are, a little bit better, and that deserves, and, of course, I was going to say, because you're a Giants fan. Yes, you could say that too. That I think, I think Eli deserves as much Respect. I'll just say that, and I'll leave it at that.
What's up, everybody? Sorry it took me so long. I was in the middle of doing a bunch of different things I couldn't get away from. So now I came in. I tell you, I was listening to you guys. Obviously, I was in the background paying attention to what's going on, and it made me believe that this week had a lot more to do like Madden. It looked like Madden football games.
Yeah.
And it looked like two teams that didn't know how to play in the Green Bay game. It looked like, and then it just got progressively kind of like Tom Brady coming back. I mean, it was like, what is the Rams trying to? Are they giving that game away? I mean, is it like? It was such a mess. It really was such a mess. But I thought it was like Madden. I thought it was just really like Madden. To do a drive for any points in 13 seconds when you couldn't even have, as a Cowboys, you couldn't even get the playoff in 13 seconds from one to the other.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I said that, and I got some clapback. They're like, oh, well, they had timeouts and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, the Cowboys could have had timeouts too, except they were down in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that Kansas City was going back and forth, that they were scoring so quickly.
Yep.
That one play is what did it. I mean, they just had one play. It was like touchdown. And then you're like, wow. And then the Bills actually had time left on the clock. But the 13 seconds was ridiculous. That was just ridiculous. I tell you, I would have had Stephen A. Smith said the same thing. I would have had somebody's head would have had to roll for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like somebody's like, you guys blew this, you blew it, and it was the defense. And I don't know if the head coach, because I know McDermott is the guy who runs that defense over there. He might have had to go because of that.
Well, okay. I don't know if it's so much the poor preparation or is it the execution of the players. And now they're starting to have a talk. Now, I'm not saying the NFL themselves, but now everybody's bringing up that they need to change the rules again for the overtime rules. No, look, I will say this. I am a traditionalist. Okay, I like the fact that they had the overtime rule, where whoever had the ball kicked the field goal, that was the winner. However, when they changed the fact to where if the team kicks a field goal, then the other team gets an opportunity.
Right.
However, if the team scores a touchdown, it's a walk-off touchdown. I like that. I like that rule because statistically, it's hard to score a touchdown. And I'm sorry, guys, those that wanted Buffalo to get a chance with the ball, then the Buffalo's defense should have stopped Kansas City. Simple as that.
I will say this, though. How much fun and how many overtimes do you think we might have had?
Oh, we would have. They'd still be playing.
Yeah, right?
They'd still be playing right now.
Well, the fact that it would go 15 minutes and it would have to go. So, really, because ultimately it would be touchdown, and then what do you make it? The next score wins? I mean, ultimately, so the only way that you would be able to do it is, my thought is that you would go from the 25 in.
Right.
Yeah.
The 25-yard line.
And then after first, what is it? After second
overtime,
then they have to score 2-point conversions.
No. It's getting down to the point where everything that everybody was complaining about the officiating, well, that's an official rule. You can't change it. It is what it is, and that's it. If you wanted the ball, you should have had your defense step up and stop Kansas City. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
you can't expect it to go back and forth the way it does in college. It's just
and we have to keep it separate from college.
Exactly.
We cannot keep that. What are we going to use? Use the same college the football, with the line on it now? No, the NFL is different than the NCAA, and we got to separate that.
Yeah, and I mean, you gave them 15 minutes for the overtime. You can't. That game cannot end in a tie. So of course, whoever scores first. A touchdown, that is, game over.
Game over.
I mean, it's just that simple.
Bottom line, if the Buffalo Bills held them to a field goal or a turnover on downs or punt or whatever, that's a different story. And keep in mind, Wasn't it a couple years ago that Kansas City was a victim to the same rule?
Yeah, the Patriots.
Yep.
Yeah.
At home.
Yep.
Home.
Yeah, so yeah, both teams were gassed for
I agree
sure.
with that.
But again, it
Well, and that's part of the issue. I mean, because ultimately in the fourth quarter, that's what they were scoring so quickly that you knew that whoever won the toss was going to win the game just because
Yeah.
it was happening that fast. There was no stopping anything, and so that becomes really the problem. But if you're going to sway towards more offense, you have to then. This isn't a hockey game where a goal wins it. You know what I mean? But both chances get a chance. That's. Are you trying to take the coin flip off of the table?
Right.
Like, is that what it is? Like, should it be?
they were talking about having
another way to decide.
Yeah, having the quarterback hit a target from X amount of feet or yards or
Seriously.
You know what? Just rock, paper, scissors. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. Might as well.
Rochambeau. Just do it that way.
And I did see a comment earlier and I didn't want to forget it, but I saw one of the questions, or who should he root for, Kansas City or the Bengals?
Right.
I would say the Bengals, being that it's been 30 years. It's been last year since the Chiefs were in it, so I'd be rooting for the Bengals.
I mean, that would not be something that we should keep and consider. Because Cincinnati, they're due. It's been a while for them. When was the last time the Reds won the World Series? Wasn't it in the 90s or something like that?
Cincinnati, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the baseball club.
Same time that the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, 88, 89.
Yeah. I mean, and I called it. I'm surprised that actually I'm not surprised that they beat the Titans. But if they have,
I picked the game. I did that.
Yeah. If they pull this one off, this will be a feat. I mean, this team, win or loss, in the Super Bowl, this team will live on for a while.
If they don't,
and their fans.
If they don't make it this year, they've got. Yeah, they're a young team. Joe Burrows is only in his second year. I mean, he's got plenty of years.
Well, and that's exactly it. Joe Burrows just took a monster step already. Monster step. He's already considered himself.
Who's to say he wouldn't have done that last year had he not torn his ACL?
Right. I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
but he had to go to FedEx Field.
But the improvisation that Kelsey and Mahomes had on that last drive. I mean, he straight up told Mahomes, I'm not running that play. Yeah. This is what they're doing. And then, the fact that you can hear
do it.
Mahomes say, do it, Kelsey, do it. I mean, it's and then Tyreek Hill, freak of nature. When I found out they called him a cheetah. I mean, are you kidding me?
I like to see him race a cheetah.
And even though it was a losing effort, Josh Allen, the way he stepped up his game, the way that he, played lights out football, 13 seconds away from the AFC Championship game. He was already stating saying that, hey, Mahomes got his Super Bowl. He got his MVP. I want to achieve what he's achieving, and there's only one way to do that, and is doing it on the field. And he got a lot of respect Sunday night in the way he competed.
And tell you one thing, AFC has got some elite, quarterbers.
Some dogs.
Between Mahomes. Hey, I'm glad they're in the AFC and not the NFC.
Right.
But now, I mean, they've got AFC is going to be tough for the next 5-10 years.
Oh yeah,
and I think I heard you say it, Pork Rind. Doesn't this make us feel like exactly where we stand in quarterback play?
Oh yeah,
like that was the biggest thing that I took out of this weekend was that the quarterback play was insane.
Yep.
And that you have to have your team prepared because this is an offensive league anymore, and if you could score points at any moment in time. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. That you could score points very quickly, and it doesn't matter how much time's left on the clock, that you're kind of still in it. It was 27-3.
Yeah.
It was 27-3.
Yeah. With 8 minutes
With
left,
Brady
or 6
starting to
minutes
get
left.
the.
It was it's crazy.
But I think
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I think with Brady, he's in a different category himself.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you have the Josh Allens, the Mahomes, but Brady has been in, obviously the league and for 22 years, 10 Super Bowls. I mean, I can't even, and then the countless games that he's came back, regular season and postseason. I think he's in a different league. But I think that with the play of Mahomes and Allen this weekend, I mean, that's what they're striving for. They're striving to get
there.
Brady's level, which, I mean, if anything, they both leveled up this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, Mahomes had 188 yards in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter.
And I failed to mention the wild card game. Didn't they score like 5 touchdowns in over 11 minutes?
They ran out of fireworks.
They ran out of fireworks. Oh my God, that's a good problem to have. Yeah. I'm going to say it right now. That's a damn good problem to have.
Yeah.
But we cannot not mention Matt Stafford. He's had this persona with him in Detroit for so many years. I mean, I can see him as a clutch quarterback when he was in Detroit, but I never saw him as a clutch quarterback. I mean, he's won some good regular season games in Detroit, but this weekend he did show me something. This this divisional round against Brady, he did show me something as far as making some key plays, key throws, and even in his press conference, he said you had to go to a dark place. And I'm like, dude, you're a quarterback. How dark of a place you got to go to complete a pass? But apparently he had to go somewhere. How dark
can it be?
Yeah, well, that's what I was seeing. I was seeing that at the very end.
Well, it was dark because he was giving up the lead. That's what was dark. I mean, it didn't matter. That's what I saw. I saw that he was trying to lose that game, and that he was barely making it. And I tell you, I don't think, and we'll start talking about this in a few minutes, but I think the 49ers win this game.
I say, Matt Stafford got to a dark place because that's what you do when you close your eyes.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's funny, yeah.
I mean, and I was saying that towards the end of the game, I said this is going to be left up to Matt Stafford if he can get his completions in, which he did to Cooper Kupp. But the great thing about Matt Stafford being over there in LA is that he's got an offensive-minded coach who wants to throw the ball.
Yep.
That's the reason that they brought in those guys at wide receiver that they have, and they knew Matt Stafford can sling it. So I think he's in the right place right now.
Yeah, absolutely is.
So, Philly, you mentioned that you think the 49ers can take it. When I saw the 49ers beat the Dallas Cowboys this on the wild card round, personally, I didn't really think they could beat Green Bay. Like they took the lead and then they slowly gave up that lead against the Cowboys. And I just did not have the faith in Garoppolo. When I saw he would drop back, I'm like, oh my God, where's he throwing the ball? It was like I wasn't as confident in him throwing the ball. And I mean, there were some, picks that he threw, but I'm in shock that they're in the NFC Championship game and not Green Bay. And that's obviously because of Green Bay's issues on special teams.
I'm not at all. You could say it was the special teams, but it was the defense. That was a big defensive game. And
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if you guys got the alerts or whatnot, but this is going to be a different game in LA. Apparently,
how so?
The ticket sales. Did you see about that? Did you get the notification?
Oh yeah.
That. So if you're
is that
outside,
true?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're not going to. You have to have a address within
the vicinity of the boroughs there in LA.
Can they do that?
Yes, they can. And I'm going to start. You're probably more than likely going to start seeing that start to spread throughout the league when these games start coming around, when they have such importance.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do believe
I bet you that all it is becomes a matter of
who you
so
know.
you got to get a PO box, and then everybody uses that PO box.
Well, it has to be. It can't be a PO box. It has to
So
be a
do.
physical.
I mean, somebody's going to pay attention that much, and then ultimately, I mean, it's. I tell you, that ain't going to happen. Ain't going to fly.
So what-
They can't get nobody in the friggin' stadium now. They're going to try to get it. Oh, it's only going to be this way. They're going to have a third of the stadium involved,
for
and
NFC
nobody's going to be in
championship.
there.
And you know the thing too.
Well,
I
that's-
don't have my tickets sent to me. I have my tickets sent digitally to me. So I don't know. I mean, I saw that and I started thinking about it. I just curious of the validity of the whole thing, because again, I think the last ticket I got mailed to me was the 2009, my very first Giants game when I was in Seattle. Other than that, it's all digital. Hold on. Where is it? The wheel of the way. We got 900 tickets for a group. Oh, I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's talking about more about Phillies stuff. Where they wanted to specifically try to keep out the fans. They ain't going to keep out the fans because ultimately it's the almighty dollar that's going to rule the roost. So they want a full stadium. And let me tell you, nobody cares in LA. Nobody cares.
Yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, they can run their algorithms, they can do everything else, and then you can find off, and then somebody else can buy them and then resell them.
Yeah, third party.
Yeah. I just
well, and exactly unless because that's how everybody's going to get their tickets on StubHub.
Yeah.
Right.
You get them on StubHub. So all you're doing is making those third party richer.
Yeah, and the problem is for Rams fans who do not live within the vicinity that want to travel to go to that game.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's kind of ridiculous seeing it, but again, I see their mission statement. We want our fans in here, not theirs.
Yeah,
if you do that,
you know who else tried to do that? Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and it didn't work out that much.
Yeah, they didn't work out too well.
I tell you what, Jerry could try, but I live in Texas. I'll still be at them damn games cheering them to lose.
And as much as Jerry hates to say it, he wants you to buy that ticket.
Oh, of course.
He would rather it be the opposite way, that you were a Cowboys fan.
Right.
But either way, your money's as green as everybody else.
Yep. I was about to say his favorite color is green.
He wants me to buy those tickets and bring Nicholas so he can eat those $1,000 hot dogs. 20 at a pop. He had 5.
Exactly.
5 hot dogs.
Yeah, he's a growing boy.
What was that, $40?
God. Wait.
$50? $70?
I think he had more than 5. I gotta ask.
It's a good thing you didn't get him that Wagyu beef burger.
I was looking for that. We got to talk after the show about that.
$25 a pop.
You know what? I'm gonna try it. I'll try it once. I feel we're forgetting a game. Did we talk about all the games?
Yeah.
Well, it was we glossed over. You guys glossed over.
We talked Tennessee, Green Bay, Buffalo, and Tampa.
And I got to check out. I'll be right back. Mama boss called me. I'll be right back.
4 games this week, and they just flew by like nothing. And now we're down to 2 games.
Down to 2.
Exactly.
Down to 2.
And then there was 2, but ultimately, let's start it off. First game is going to be the Bengals and the Chiefs. Let's start with you, Pork Rind. What are your thoughts?
Last time, Bengals put it on them last time, but it's a different game. It's much bigger. And I think, Patrick Mahomes and the boys are going to be a little bit more ready to play, a little bit more of a revenge game for them, I guess. Man, I think Kansas City pulls it off, but I think it's going to be a very close game coming down to the end. Obviously, I think the points are going to be over. What is it? 54.5? Kansas City by 7. I don't think they cover that. I think they win by 3. I like to see Cincinnati win, but I just don't see. I think they're still about another year or 2 away.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. It's hard fought. I think they're gonna keep one of the fastest players. Well, actually, the fastest player in check, just like they did in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be coming down to both defenses. I don't think they're going to be able to do what they did to the Bills. I'm gonna say Cincinnati's going to get this one.
So, and I personally, I don't think Cincinnati's got it either. You know, I think they made a big step. I think that it will be closer than people think, but it's still going to be a 10-point game, and it's going to be the Chiefs. And I think that the Chiefs will come back to win it. I don't think it'll be like that they're going to be in a lead throughout the entire, from beginning to end. But I think that they do come back and win this game handily, and like almost like it was never a thought.
Well,
What's your thought, Sneaky?
As much as I want the Bengals to take it, I think it's going to be the Chiefs. I'm kind of with you. I can see a 27-17 type ball game. Easy.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I have it. I have it at 31-27, 31-21. I don't think they even score that last touchdown unless it's a garbage touchdown. But 31-21 is kind of how I have it.
Because they got the Chiefs at +3, right? Like 3.5?
+7.
Oh, 7.
Yeah,
okay.
7. Yeah, they're giving up 7. So the Bengals are a -7. I don't think they cover it.
Yeah.
What's the weather going to be like?
Oh, it's going to be. I think it's going to be good. I think the weather.
Yeah, it's actually what, a 2:00 their time game. 1:00 their time.
3 o'clock start time. It says.
No, that's Eastern time though. It's like
2,
a 1:00
time.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
2. Yes.
So it starts at 2. Both games start at 2:00 for each team.
Crazy, right?
Or one's at 3. One's at 2. One's at 3.
I'm still looking at the over under 50. I got 54 points. That's kind of high.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it. Think about how like the over under. I said last week. I said that if they could keep it under, the Bills would win that game. If it went over, that they weren't doing it, and it was at 54.5. And what was it? The last touchdown did it.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So, and that's exactly how I said. If they kept it under, they win. They keep it over, they lose. And that, it actually literally held true because they don't kick that field goal. They don't win the game. The Chiefs don't win the game. 10 points very quickly.
Yep.
So we talked a little bit about that one. You might as well talk about the other one while we're at it, because I didn't mean to ask, or I meant to ask, who were the Giants talking to this week for coach?
Oh, who were they? Who they weren't talking to?
I know. I get emails all the time from the Giants telling me, "Hey, we talked to this guy, and we talked to this guy, and we talked to this guy."
Well, first off, let me just drop back and talk about the GM. He had his first interview today. He talked about Jones. He's very confident, Daniel Jones. He's talking about putting in his process in the league. I think the Giants got it right. We said the same thing about Gettleman, but we'll soon find out. I did
see the quote that Mara did say that they're wasting, or something to the sort, that they've been wasting Daniel Jones's talents.
Yes.
That says a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I knew the ownership had faith in him. And I also saw the quote where Mara was like, "We are not trading for Watson," which is not a surprise. So as far as the interview, I mean, it was Dan Quinn, it was Brian Harris, DeBoe, Frazier. I think Quinn got an interview, but not a second interview. I think Quinn is over in Chicago now. Kind of checking that out, that opportunity out there. I love the fact that they're taking their time. I love the fact that they're doing their due diligence. And the GM even said in the press conference, it's going to be a collaborative a thought process. Mara said that if Sean picks his coach and he believes that this guy is the guy, and there's a little conflict, that they'll even talk about it. They'll do their further due diligence and research and put a plan in place. And again, Joe said that it's not going to, not everything is going to be solved overnight. There's some holes to fill. There's going to be some tough decisions. When I saw it, we're like I think we're negative $5 million over the cap. He got a lot of wiggle room, a lot of restructuring some deals, and unfortunately, we're going to probably have to let some people go. I have an idea of who's going to be let go.
Or who you want let go.
Yeah, well, there's one person on my mind, and I'm not going to say any names, but
I heard you just resigned him. What are you talking about?
No, that's not. No. Williams is staying. I like Williams. He's staying. But and I love the fact that he is not going to come in and flip the world upside down. Yeah, he's going to do his due diligence. You're going to, other than saying trust the process, he was basically saying trust the process.
Yeah.
So, and I like a guy like that, and the fact that he relishes in the history of the franchise. I mean, he talked about when his time in Carolina with John Fox and how Fox looked, spoke very highly of the football Giants, and he knew that's where he wanted to be in the early 2000s, and now he has his dream job. So, but look, how we measure this is wins. and playoff wins and Super Bowls. And the last thing, I mean, the last GM that won a Super Bowls was Reese, and he won us 2. Of course, a lot of work, a lot of help. So hopefully we could get to that that mountaintop again. Again, I liked his interview. Now just go get us some rings.
I'm still in the mindset that the firings haven't.
I'm sorry to,
yeah, they haven't
sorry to cut you
themselves.
off. True Blue, I just found out Debo may be going to Miami now. Somebody had mentioned that earlier as a Facebook user, but Big Blue Ant, he just confirmed that Debo may be going to Miami.
Wow.
Which I mean, it's okay. I mean, the thing is the pool. I'm going to be honest. As long as we don't get Quinn, I'm happy. Simple as that.
No Quinn for you?
No
really?
Quinn for me. No Quinn.
Yeah.
You can have him. You can have him.
I'm still in the mindset that the firings haven't completed their rounds until the season is completely over. I think.
Who do you think is going to get the chop?
Oh, well, I think there's going to be a couple more.
Well, I'm asking you because of McCarthy. Because Sean Payton.
What do you think about Sean Payton?
That's going to be the 2023 Dallas Cowboys head coach.
No, Sean Payton is taking the year off. I think he's a little worn mentally and physically as well, with everything that he's had to deal with. But I don't see I
think he's a wuss. I think he's a wuss, actually.
What?
That he saw exactly what this team was all about and realized he decided, like, you know what? This team's going to suck balls, and I ain't going to coach it. And that's exactly how he did this.
That very well could be. And like this year, I don't see him doing anything. I see him taking a little R&R, but I really don't see him coming to the Dallas Cowboys even in 23. I still think, like I said, there's still going to be some determining factors after the season is completed. After the Super Bowl, the Monday, when it comes around, teams will continue to let people go.
Now, I want to refresh everybody's memory that Peyton did take the New York Football Giants to the 2000 Super Bowl. He was the offensive coordinator for Kerry Collins, and then
so he could be coming to the New York Football Giants. He
could be coming to the Giants as as a consultant. I mean, if we hire this head coach, I highly doubt that we'll bring him on as a.
Look where McAdoo landed.
I know Matt Dewell, but he better watch his back, because McAdoo will take that coaching job quick.
I think Sean Payton is going to end up. Oh,
Yes.
Rumor mill is Troy goes Amazon
for Thursday Night Football.
Oh, that's right, because Amazon's taking over
Yeah.
Yep.
for the yeah.
I can see.
And he is wanting to talk football on TV.
Yeah, I can see Sean Payton and Drew Brees hooking up in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, that's
exactly. Why not? Why not put them in the booth together?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, imagine the stories that would come from that.
Oh, God.
I mean, for real. I mean, you get to see a little bit of slice of that.
I'm waiting for Philly to throw something else in there.
Yeah, Romo will be like, "Wow, that jacket is really yellow." And that's what he'll say to Troy. So I want to throw this something out there. Des Bryant was all over Twitter, and he made a suggestion that Tony Romo should be the next offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. True Blue, what is your thought about that? From a man giving advice on how to win a Super Bowl who has yet to even win a Super Bowl or even be on a team.
Coaching
He's got a football mind,
Yeah, coaching is a lot different than that. And I, as much as I would like to see it, I don't think he's walking away from a $17 million a year job to take a pay cut.
Stress-free too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm home every day with my family until, Saturday, Sunday, whatever game they're calling, and he's back home.
Yeah, but I'd say he had a good year that first year, and then he's been mailing it in ever since. He's stunk out loud. I don't like him anymore. Before he used to be good at calling the plays. Now I think he's gotten lazy.
He's still calling the plays though.
Well, I think that has to do. I think that has to do with the whole Jim Nantz situation. I think because of that first year, I think with the contract year, I think he was told to stand down.
Oh, really? You think he was out? He was outshining?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
His partner. Okay, that's fair.
And you can hear it in Jim Nantz. I mean, as much as the guys like each other, you can hear it in Jim Nantz's voice. You can hear him saying, "Well, I guess the guru just got that one right." Well, I guess Tony knew what he was talking about.
Man, that is crazy.
You can hear it in the voice, and you can hear.
There will never be another John Madden and Pat Summerall.
No, never. And by you, I'm sorry to cut you off, but by you saying that, listen, if I ever come across, I mean, you got all three of you are great, and I that's why I look forward to this every Wednesday. You guys bring the best out of me. I think that Nance should do this. His name is Nance, right?
Jim Nantz, yes.
Yeah. I think he should do the same thing. I mean, if Romo is outshining him or whatever the perception is, then maybe he needs to step up his game instead of. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if what you're saying is true, you don't, just because the guy is outshining you, you got to shine right next to him.
Yeah.
Some people like that, man.
I mean, it goes back to the Hall of Fame game when he was barely coming in. He had a wooden booth built out there at the south end of the lawn while Jim Nantz was actually in the studio or in the, calling the game. Yes, Nantz has lost his
fastball.
Yeah, but it started from right there.
And then you work on your curveball, then your breaking ball, and your sinker,
And don't get me wrong, I still love Jim Nantz, but he's more of the golf guy for me.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, he's multiple. I mean, so Buck, as much as he does, nobody likes him. Nobody likes him at all. But because he calls baseball and football, I look at him as like Brent Musburger. You know what I mean? Like Brent Musburger was always the guy who kind of talked about everything. But I mean, it's funny because when I think about announcers, and maybe we'll talk about this during the Pro Bowl week. We'll dive into it a little bit more. But the announcer of the Philadelphia Phillies was the announcer for the New York Giants radio. So, and for a very long time, if you got the Giants feed, you were listening to the same guy who was calling the Phillies games.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, I got a buddy who was actually trying out for the play-by-play for the New Orleans Saints, and those people are just, it must be all over the place. They're just coming in and out because nobody's wanting to set positions and be a play-by-play because it's not their team. They're willing to do it as a job, but they just don't want to do it because of, the favoritism they have to show to that team.
All right. Well, listen, now we only got 5 minutes left in the show, and we still haven't talking about game 2, the 49ers
Oh
over
wow.
the Rams. So, with the 5 minutes left, because I need to make sure that I get your picks so that when I beat you, because I've won my games and you guys have not, I want to be able to rub it in your faces a little bit.
Okay, I got to go Rams. I'm going to say at 28-24 Rams. I just don't have full confidence.
And
The Niners could actually win it, but I'm going to pick the Rams.
Yeah.
If it goes that high, that's definitely a Rams line.
Yeah, I'm with Sneaky on this one. I mean, the only way that 49ers are going to win this game is if they score 2 defensive touchdowns and 2 special teams touchdowns, because their offense, I don't see it, man. Their offense is being
Look,
without Debo.
that running game with Dominican Sue and Von Miller, and not Dominican Sue. I'm sorry, Darnold. I just don't see them running the ball effectively against that defensive front. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams as well, and I think it's gonna be just because of the animosity from the game a couple of weeks ago, the way it played out. I think they're gonna go in there and try and handle business. I'm not saying they're gonna blow them out, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a hell of a game.
I got it the exact opposite. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think that it's going to be literally a 16-13, 16-10 game in favor of the Niners. If it goes right, that third win that he said is always hard. Actually, to be honest, if that team has won 2 games during the year, the third game is usually a lock. As funny as that sounds, if you go back in time and you look at it, you find that that third win isn't as hard as you think it is. That if you beat them twice, if you swept them in the regular season, you win in the postseason. It's rare that it doesn't happen that way.
Well, I can think of a situation in 2007 how it didn't work out that way.
What happened there?
Well, the Dallas Cowboys swept the Giants during the season, but when it came to the divisional round, we ended up winning the Super Bowl.
Well, and yeah, because a win like that propels you.
Right.
It propels you. Right. So,
well,
I mean,
and it also doesn't help the fact that Jerry put the NFC championship tickets on the players' chairs or locker room, saying that they were going to beat us. So just a little bit of motivation. Just saying.
And there you have it. So, but I think that the 49ers win this game. And I think it'll be close. I think it's just going to be close because it's low scoring and that any moment somebody's going to win. And I think that, I think that the other game is going to be a lot high scoring, except for the fact that it could go over for that other game, but it's going to be a 10-point margin. So the over, I think it's definitely going to be an under. 26, 32 points total scored in this game. This 6:30 game.
I'll give you guys a Yogi Berra analogy. The team with the most points shall win.
Yeah, they shall.
And you're right, Philly. If it's a low-scoring game, that's the type of football game the 49ers play. So, yeah.
So, there you have it. So, I have the Chiefs, and I don't know the over-under, but they definitely cover. And then I have the 49ers outright. So I would put that in a parlay and under. That's a 3-teamer, and that should probably pay you a lot of money. You put a shekel on that you're probably able to get 5.5 to 1. One would win 550.
I'm gonna Google parlay. So
there you go. No. But anyways. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on. Sorry I was late today, but we were doing this on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Roku TV. Anyway, guys, we will be back here. We're going to do another 2 weeks, and then we're going to take a couple of weeks off, and then we're going to get back in the groove again. So, but anyways, everybody have a great week. We'll see you next week after, and who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. And in the meantime, Go
Let's
Birds!
go, Giants.
Fucking Cowboys.
One more week till we have a name.